maneuver? Am I going to jam on the brakes and try to follow this car that's obviously going a lot slower than I am, or try to make a pass around the outside and go for the win? You know, sort of instinctively chose option B, ended up in an accident, you know, coasted my way across the finish line with 2 wheels hanging off the thing, finishing second. And, you know, I think it's just one of those things that I had to grow up a lot in that moment of kind of crisis almost. There's just so many things going on, so much that you have to deal with. And, sort of being trained to deal with that with a little bit of humility was, I think, a big piece of how that ended up becoming such a great learning experience for me going forward, to just kind of take it in. And, you know, a big piece of there was a lot of ways that I think, you know, you could blame the situation or something for being in that spot. And, you know, I sort of chose, I guess, just to have a view of it like, this is like, this type of stuff happens, right? Like, it happens. You guys will know what I would normally say. And that was actually a big part of being able to learn from it. You know, I think that once the dust had settled, you know, I found myself thinking like, man, you know, like, what if that guy just hadn't been there, and why were they going so slow in the middle of the corner? Like, they didn't need to be. Like, they could have gotten out of the way, or there's all kinds of things that maybe somebody else could have done something differently to put me in a more optimal situation. But every time I started thinking about it that way, I just started realizing, like, you know, there is actually something to learn from this, that I need to get out of this to get past it. And, you know, it ended up becoming an experience for me that, rather than it being something that bugs me every time somebody brings it up, you know, it just motivates me to go back, and I realize now that I'm so much better in that. I'd be so much better now in that exact same position, and part of that is because I went through it and was able to kind of get beyond it the way that I did. So, you know, I guess without being, you know, too dramatic about it, it's definitely an example in my own life of really benefiting from just taking responsibility for the fact that, you know, I'm the guy in control in that situation at the end of the day. Like, maybe you get dealt like a hand that wasn't awesome, you know, or was difficult to deal with, but you know, in the end, it's been a huge benefit and sort of growth opportunity for me going forward, which has been good for my career and been great for me, you know, just personally in my life as well.